kind of started almost about a year ago. We started watching everything kind of be taken away. We have to close this, we have to save money here, keep this going. And then back in September, October, the campsite started leaking sewage, and I just started really looking into things.
Right now, because of the turmoil that's going on, people are unhappy, and justifiably so. Regretfully, we've got new issues that came about, and regretfully, a lot wasn't dealt with in prior councils, so we ended up holding the ball.
Over the next coming weeks, we will be submitting it to the Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs, and the public response, it's a little divided. Some of them, they're not happy about what's going on and what we're doing, and the majority they're happy. Like they just want to see some hope. They want their community back.
I have never seen anything quite like this in my almost 20-year career in the regional district, so I'm not quite sure what to say. I believe it would be beneficial to everyone. First of all, as far as the village is concerned, it would reduce their taxes. And as far as the Area A residents, our rural residents, it would also slightly reduce their taxes because the village would share in our planning department, and if you have more people in the same service, then the cost will be slightly less.
Well, I don't know if it's going to save any money or not. We don't know when all's said and done whether the taxes are going to go up again or they're going to decrease. Nobody has the answer to that question yet.
There are some that are saying, don't do this. This is a really bad idea. We're going to lose all control. Our roads aren't going to get plowed. The ambulances are going to struggle. And I don't know their thoughts behind that, but when I see a 42% tax increase and that doesn't help open anything up or bring any of our programming back for our youth.
What has happened with the Village of Sayward is that over time, they have used the reserves to subsidize their lack of revenue. They've depleted the reserves and now have had no choice but to increase taxes. So they've had a 42% tax increase.
That was on the draft budget, so that's not the final number.
What is it? Is there a final number, or are you still working?
Not yet. We have another budget meeting on the 17th.
Well, I'm totally neutral. I don't have a dog in this fight at all. But I used to live in the village. I worked for McMillan Bloedel for almost 30 years. And I'm concerned about the residents. I have contact with village residents, and I believe the vast majority of them believe that it would be to their advantage to join the regional district.
Well, regretfully, right now we're in the Kelsey Centre. In the last 10 years, we've spent over $2.1 million on the Kelsey Centre without any help from Area A, which has been a huge tax burden to the community. So that's hurt us a lot. That's ate up a lot of our reserves.
Currently, they're trying to force Area A to hold a referendum if we would support it or not, and that referendum won't pass.
But certainly the people who are out in the valley here did use that, right?
Yes, a percentage do, and there'd be more valley residents would use it than village residents because we have a bigger population. But the percentage of our population that uses it is small.
We still have our taxes and stuff to pay for, and we still have our own treatment plant to pay for and our own sewage treatment, plant to pay for. And I'm not expecting our taxes to drop drastically like they are out, in the valley and stuff, because we have more things to pay for.
The real area of conflict is the Kelsey Centre. And 20 years ago, we had a referendum on that same issue. It was defeated. Every time it arises, it causes conflict.
Also, we've had some legal challenges in the last little while that's eat up quite a bit of money.
I don't know if you've ever watched on YouTube some of the videos, but I've attended some council meetings, and 2 minutes into it, they're already bickering, and they just can't seem to put their personal differences aside at the door and come in and do what's best for the community.
It's difficult because you don't want to see the municipality be dissolved. I don't want to see the municipality be dissolved. I think it has a lot of potential. I think a new election is coming up. I think that election will hopefully get some people in here that are like-minded and who are here for the betterment of the community and not just for themselves.
I don't think it's fair for them to be going and suing each other and using thousands and thousands of dollars on legal fees when we have real issues in the community, and that's where the money is supposed to be going.
Well, there hasn't been an official village stand at the moment, but what we are doing is we're putting together a facts list because there's a lot of rumors out there on what's going to benefit and what's not going to benefit. So we're putting out together facts and fiction, get rid of the fiction, pardon me. So what we believe is the truth. And we're going to be working with the SRD in the province to make sure that we have the exact information so people have an educated vote.
I don't know exactly the next steps. Of course, this hasn't been, I just found out, hasn't been done since 1920, so yeah.
They are on the cutting edge, and it would certainly be a unique thing for British Columbia.
It's been a long time, so I don't think there's anybody alive today that has the answers on exactly what's going to take place.
I guess so. I didn't really think about any of that or how big this was actually going to get with the, reporters and the media getting involved as much, because I was just doing it for the community, and I don't want to be taxed out of my home. I want my kids to have something. I want to be able to leave my kids my home, and it's an investment.
I'm no expert in this, but from what I've heard, I would expect that once the province receives this petition, and they have the majority of their electors have already signed this petition, I believe the province would come and speak to the residents, both of the valley and the village, and explain what the advantages and disadvantages would be so people can make an informed decision.
I honestly don't know what the government does from there. I imagine there has to be studies. They have to check the debt. There has to be an investigation into the finances because of what the province is willing to take over. It's going to be a huge cost to the province. So, there's a lot of steps that need to take place before this ever happens.
The next step would be to submit it to the minister, and they kind of go from there. The public engagement.
I think it's important for us to get all the information before a decision is made. And none of us have all the answers at this point. So as soon as we can get the answers from the province and from the SRD and see exactly which way this direction is going to go,